Today's show is presented by Podgo. Podgo is the easiest way for you to monetize your podcast, providing podcasters with a flat rate for ad space so you always know how much you get when you include an ad from Podgo. Apply today to become a member and immediately be connected with the advertisers that fit your audience. That's Podgo at podgo.co. Podgo, that's where the pods go.
Hello and welcome to the Infectious Groove Podcast, part of the Odd Pods Media Network. Recorded at the 33 1/3 Music Appreciation Center in Speakeasy, located just outside of Detroit, Michigan. The Infectious Groove Podcast is your source for jammy jams, music news, and the best in-depth music discussion. Thanks for joining us. Now here are your hosts.
Hello. My name is Russ, and remotely along with me is Kyle and Michelle, and I'm pretty excited about the fact that the whole world go back to going to in-person recording and all that stuff this week, and we're like the show that's like, wait, no, we have to do remote.
Yeah, it's opposite world.
Yeah, we're just doing things opposite world. So Kyle and Michelle very much sound like they're on the phone, so we apologize for that. However, you do get their sparkling personality joining us, which is always a plus to tuning in. And big news from us. Don't call it a comeback. We are back for season 4, which I'm really excited about. And I hope that 0.5 seconds of audio doesn't get a copyright strike, but I was really excited about using it myself.
Probably will.
Yeah, I know. Watch it happen. So anyways, with us, we had a whole bunch of things happen since we've been off for 2 weeks. I always talk about it at the top of the show, but we did have, as promised, 4 YouTube videos went up while we were on break, which is sweet. And the YouTube channel continues to grow. When we last had our season 3 finale, the YouTube channel was under 600 subscribers. And since then, it's now over 600 subscribers, which is awesome. So thank you for everybody that's sharing the channel and so on. And we are going to move from there into, we don't really have a lot of feedback to share because we've been off for 2 weeks, but we do have a couple of different things to share with everybody that we're just going to throw into that segment. So having said that, we did renew our partnership with Manscaped, and they are going to bring feedback to us. So summer is here. Are you ready to unveil your beach bod? You're in luck. Our friends at Manscaped just launched their 4th generation performance package, which includes the Lawnmower 4.0. Complement your dad bod or six pack with a trim from the leaders in male grooming. Join the 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com and getting 20% off and free shipping with our code GROOVE. That's GROOVE, GROOVE. The new Performance Package 4.0 includes the Lawnmower 4.0. This trimmer is insane and, dare I say, the GOAT of all ball trimmers. Their 4th generation trimmer includes a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents. The Lawnmower 4.0 has a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multifunction on-off switch that can engage a travel lock, and gives you the ability to turn on a 4000K LED spotlight when needed for a more precise shave. The Performance Package 4.0 also includes the Weed Whacker for the worst of your nose and ear hair. Both the Weed Whacker and the Lawnmower 4.0 are waterproof. Seal the deal with Manscaped's liquid formulations. Use Crop Reviver ball deodorant to keep on your game in the heat. Then, after trimming the lawn and whacking the weeds in the heat, give your beach balls a boost and use Crop Reviver. Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts to their Performance Package 4.0, the Manscaped Boxers and Shed Travel Bag. Bring your comfort and boxers to another level. Get 20% off and free shipping by going to manscaped.com and using our code GROOVE. That's 20% off and free shipping by going to manscaped.com and using our code GROOVE. Escape the shrubs and the weeds this summer and shine with Manscaped. So I'm really upset about us being remote because although I heard one audible chuckle, I didn't get to see the two of you full on losing it this week over the Manscaped ad. I gotta say,
I started laughing at "Give Your Beach Balls a Boost."
Yeah. I gotta say that's one of the more understated ad reads that they've given us so far. I didn't even have to edit out anything crass. So anyways.
It was very mild.
Yeah, I know. It's hard to believe, but I'm sure we'll have a bounce back month in August. I believe we can have a bounce back month. So anyways, having said that, Manscaped is bringing you this segment.
Feedback, John.
Don't worry about that. Right. Where would rock and roll be without feedback?
Okay, so we do have some big news to share. We talked about it a lot going up, but right before we get to that, I have got to share a little bit of behind-the-scenes information that goes on with this show. Right after we wrapped the Season 3 premiere, Michelle laid some gold in the group chat that her and Kyle and I have, and I'm going to read this message aloud, and then I'm going to read my reply to Michelle, and then I'm going to invite Michelle to speak to our audience about the message that I'm about to read. I have this screen capture here, and it reads, in all caps, 2 messages in a row. And following the is Eric Clapton is British. And then my reply to that is, holy shit, please be kidding. And then
I was not kidding.
A whole text message ensued between us about how Michelle found out Eric Clapton is British through how, Michelle? How did you find out he was British?
TikTok.
Yeah, like all people got turned out. Like back in the 60s when Clapton was part of the Yardbirds and Cream and everything, and everybody heard about him through TikTok.
That's how I assume people heard about new music back in the day.
Oh, for sure.
You were around then, right?
Yes. I know you're unprepared for this, Michelle, but do you have a statement regarding just now finding out that Eric Clapton is British that you'd like to share with the audience?
How was I supposed to know? Thank God for TikTok. I might have never found out.
Yeah, I know. We'd be at his memorial celebration or whatever else. People would be like, they'd show a clip of him talking, and you'd be like, "Oh, Eric Clapton was British."
I would say that. I like to say that doesn't make his music any better.
Oh, okay. Well, season 4 is off to a great start, everyone. Holy wow!
That was for Mike Barkel. He likes him some Eric Clapton, doesn't he?
Yeah, everyone but you likes him some Eric Clapton.
Yeah, I like me some Eric Clapton too. What's it to you?
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow!
He's not on my list of people to see in concert, if that's what you're asking.
Oh, right, sure. Well, and I'm sure he's heartbroken by that. I would imagine. Clapton's probably having a hard time with that. Having said that, we're going to move on to the big and obvious and wonderful subject, and I have a great setup for that. Kyle and Michelle, do you guys have some news that I already didn't put on our Instagram and Facebook and Twitter that you'd like to share with everyone?
I think we had a baby.
Wait, you think so? Where is the baby right now?
She's right here.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's good news. I do have some listener feedback to share from the announcements, which is great. But if you all want to talk for a minute and tell people a little bit about the young lady that joined the family.
Yeah. She came in on her own, a little over 40 weeks. She's Zoe Lynn, and she's pretty great. She's a little tiny girl.
Yeah.
Just a babe, 5 pounds, 10 ounces when she was born. But we're all doing great.
That's the funny feedback. We had 2 different listeners point out the fact that the first piece of feedback that we got when I posted the picture of her and her stats on Twitter was, so Michelle has a baby and it's 5 out of 10. And then in all caps, does anybody else see how perfect the universe is? Also, congratulations, Kyle and Michelle. And that wasn't from Seth.
Planned it that way.
We do have a message from Seth, by the way, but that wasn't from Seth.
Is it a voicemail?
No. I didn't.
Seth.
No, Seth already told you guys. You guys are cut off on voicemails on account of Beyonce Gate. So hold on here. And so the next message that we got was from Chicago Mike. Michelle, he's the Mike that lives in Chicago.
Wait, the one. Okay, Chicago, got it.
Yep. He sent a picture of our sticker. Our no stinker sticker that says 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
And it says, I see what you did there. Congratulations, Kyle and Michelle. The next piece of feedback that we have is from Seth at the Thanks for Coming RuPaul Drag Race podcast. And he says, honestly, I was kind of hoping she would be named after me. Congrats, Kyle and Michelle. And
Seth is a good girl's name.
Yeah,
we messed up.
Yeah, absolutely. So, anyways, and it's funny. I love the fact that she's actually making her podcast debut right now. Which is great. Has she shared with you her opinions on Pet Sounds yet?
Yeah, she left her review in her diaper.
Oh, good golly, Miss Molly. Oh no! And was she reviewing the collected works of Eric Clapton at the same time?
That's coming up next.
Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, so the baby's here. 5 fingers, 5 toes. Beautiful baby girl.
5? She has more than 5.
Well, 10. Each hand and each foot. Sorry. Well, hey, you know what? That was a test to see how much you've been paying attention to her. But all is going well. And I know I had seen you guys recently. How's things going with the whole sleep schedule situation? Getting better?
Yeah, sure.
Fantastic.
It's off and on. We get a good night every now and then, but she likes to stay awake at night right now. So.
All right. Well.
Just to party all night.
Yes.
Yeah, just like her mom. Which there's been a lot of things that you've shared with us that we've been like, in the group chat, been like, oh, like mother, like daughter, little things and whatnot. But the fact that the child wants to stay up past 10 p.m. is definitely different than her mother.
She's just like her dad, like that.
Right. Okay. So I only have one other piece of feedback on us in general that I want to share, and this came in late last night. I saw this at like 2 a.m. or something last night. But someone left a comment on our YouTube channel that says, "This is one of the best vinyl channels that I found. I always learn stuff here that others don't cover, and your passion for music is both obvious and powerfully relatable. So keep the videos coming." And I was like, well, that's the greatest comment in the history of the world.
Yeah,
so,
I saw that this morning. That's awesome.
Yeah, so I just wanted to share that as well. So, we talked about the YouTube channel. It's completely different content from this, but it's good stuff like that. It's like, oh, that makes me feel like we're doing something right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, having said that, I don't know if y'all have had time to listen to music in the past 2 weeks, but we are going to move on to our next segment.
Our jammies.
For me, the past 2 weeks have been filled with two completely different things. One is I talked a whole bunch leading up to the middle of June about being excited for the Wolfgang Van Halen record and how I had only listened to the one song, even though there were 5 singles. So I did get that record and I listened to the whole thing. And I mean this in the most complimentary way that I can say it. It's a solid rock record. Like, it's not going to set the world on fire. I don't think there's going to be any massive single off of it. I don't think that, in 10 years, people are going to be talking about how good his debut record was. But it's really impressive for the fact that he literally wrote and recorded everything on it. Like, every single instrument and voice you're hearing on the record is all Wolfgang Van Halen. And he did it all by himself at home, which is awesome. So I've been listening to that a lot. And it's like early 2000s rock type thing. Like if Nickelback was a little bit better, that would be the songs on this album. I've been listening to that, and then actually I had a birthday, I think, since our last episode, and somebody got me a compilation record called The Best of Philly International Records, which is pretty much all Philly soul from the 70s. That was just enormous. All came out of this one record label. They're kind of the Motown of straight up soul music, like based out of Philly, and they found all these all handcrafted all these artists, and of course, if you read the track listing on this, it's if you got like a best of Motown record. It's like every soul song that is awesome is on this record.
Nice.
Yeah, so I was really excited to get it in the first place, and then that led me down a rabbit hole to just listening to more and more by those artists. So honestly, those two things have really consumed my past 2 weeks for me, for Jammy Jam. So for the playlist, I'll probably pick a bunch of stuff from that record, and some of the highlights on the Mammoth LP record, which is that's what Wolfgang Van Halen's band, quote unquote, it's just him, but he's going by the name Mammoth WVH because Mammoth was the original name for Van Halen, the band, before they changed it to Van Halen. So I'll probably put some on there as well. And again, nothing on that record's going to light the world on fire, but it's all really solid tunes, and it's made even more impressive by the fact that it's just one kid writing and recording every single thing on it.
I'm glad you clarified that, because I was confused as shit as to why it was called Mammoth WVH.
I think I've talked to you guys before about how funny Wolfgang is on Twitter. Like, he's just really funny. Yeah. And I don't expect everyone to know that about it being Mammoth and whatnot, but apparently Wolfgang does, because holy cow, anytime somebody asks, even hints at, like, I don't get why it's called Mammoth, he just lights them up.
Well, beyond that, I was confused as to why he put his initials after it, but it makes sense if it's just him that's doing all the stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a solo record, essentially, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely. Yeah. And then he's good friends with Mark Tremonti, so when he goes out on tour this summer, he's going to have a band around him, which is like guys from Mark Tremonti's band. So he's going to have like immensely talented guys around him. But as far as the record goes, his dad's not even on it. Like, there's not every single sound you hear on the record is him, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's awesome. And also, Mammoth is a fantastic fucking band name.
Yeah, I know. When I was a kid, I probably found out I got into Van Halen in like 84 or something like that. And I don't know, a year or two later, I heard about that they used to be called Mammoth. And when I was a little kid, I was like, why'd they change it from Mammoth?
It's awesome sounding.
Yeah. So everything's full circle, and now we have a Mammoth band out in the world. So those were what carried me mostly for the last 2 weeks. Moving over to Kyle, what have I know for a fact that you've found a way to work in listening to something new in the last 2 weeks. It's really when we get to Michelle's going to be the question mark. But what have you?
Usually I make my daily coffee run. I'm usually blasting something in the car on the way to and from there. So
right on. And what has that been?
Polar opposites like usual. But Moneybagg Yo put out a new album called A Gangsta's Pain. So I've been listening to that. Mostly listening to that while I was in the car because I can turn it up really loud and roll the windows down.
Oh, that's not good. It's not good music to put the baby to sleep to.
No.
Who knew? Who knew?
And beyond that, I've been listening to a lot of Little Hell from City and Color.
Oh, hell yeah. I need them to reissue that on vinyl desperately. Like, it's just one of those records
it's such a great album.
Mm-hmm. That's Fragile Bird is on there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the song that got me into City and Color. Like, I heard that and was like, whoa. You know, like, I need to hear more of this. So, and of course, as is the way, it's the one album that's like really hard to get by them.
Yeah, and he keeps putting out. I told you before those videos where he like takes a deep dive into the albums or whatever on YouTube.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I keep I'll find one on YouTube, and I thought it was just something that he had released like previously, and like just was going to do like a one-off, and never did any more of them. He's continuously doing more of them, so I keep finding them, and then that leads me back to listening to more City and Color. So.
Right on. Yeah, I need to dig into those YouTube videos as well. So we will put some selections from that on there. I mean, to be honest, I don't know the album well enough. If it were up to me, I'd be like, I don't know, Fragile Bird. You know, so Kyle knows the album extremely well, and he'll pick some songs out for the playlist. Michelle, other than the sounds of your baby, what have you found time to listen to?
Not a whole lot.
So nothing's changed since you had a child.
Not a whole lot has changed. Just that blowjob country song by Walker Hayes. It's constantly stuck in my head. And then James Arthur, I don't know if this is a new song or if it just is new to me, but he has a song called September that I really like.
Yeah, it's a new release, I believe.
I didn't even share that message either. That was the other message we got in the group chat. Was you sent? What was the name of the artist that you sent again?
Walker Hayes.
Walker Hayes. And do you know the name of the song off the top of your head?
Fancy Like.
Okay. Which, by the way, I said when you sent that message, I do not believe that I'll be clicking on that. And I need to tell you, a week and a half later, I'm standing strong. I still have not clicked on that.
Please do not click on it.
And well, my favorite thing that followed it was the message from Michelle that was all panicked. That was like, you guys, I think I like blowjob country. Well, the good news for you, Michelle, is there's no end to it. There is a ton of that. There is a ton of that stuff out there for you.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I for one am super excited about you getting into that music.
Are you?
No, not even a little bit.
She put that song on in the car, and I was like, "Oh my god, what is happening right now?"
He was so excited.
Yeah, it sounds like it. All right, I am going to take us to break. When we come back, I just realized I didn't even mention what we're talking about this week. We're doing like just a fun fantasy type topic. We're going to talk about our dream concert. You're never going to believe this, but I have a whole bunch of if this then that about why my dream concert landed the way it was, and we will talk to Kyle and Michelle about theirs. I feel like Michelle's dream concert is like anybody under $5. Like
it's free, it's for me.
Yeah, the artists don't matter so much, but the pricing matters more than anything. I am going to take us to break, and I will come back in just a minute, and we will talk all about those dream concerts and have some fun with that. You're listening to the Infectious Groove podcast on the Odd Pods Media Network.
Hi, I'm Sam.
I'm Richie.
And I'm Little Matt.
And here at the 500 Section Lounge, we have a few requirements.
First, you've got to be able to talk about anything at all.
Secondly, you need to be able to laugh, play games, and talk to some very interesting people.
From sports radio personalities to reality television contest finalists and everything in between, we talk to them all.
Yeah, it's all right here in the lounge. So be on the lookout for what we do next.
And always be there to
grab a listen.
I'm Rob.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Joe.
I love it.
I think it's kind of meh.
And I've never seen it.
We're keeping up with the Cardassians.
A podcast covering 7 seasons of Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
But that's not it. We go down the wormhole
of pop culture, life, and Garrick.
New episodes every Monday.
On your favorite podcasting platforms. You can also interact with the show on Twitter at CardassiansPod.
And just like the Ferengi, we can't wait to stroke your lobes.
We are back, continuing along with the Season 4 premiere of the Infectious Group podcast. I am Russ, and I have with me Kyle and Michelle and Zoe, I assume. I haven't heard from her in a bit, but is she still there with you?
She's still here.
You didn't get rid of her during the first half of the show. Oh, you know what? One thing I meant to mention in the first half of the show is some changes that we have coming, and we alluded to this in the end of the last season, but just so everyone knows, what we're going to do going forward is continuing our format of an album review every other week, and then on the off weeks, we will be doing these type of things, fun topics or whatever comes up in the media that we feel that it's urgent that we share our opinion with the world on whatever's happening in music. So next week, we will be back to the top of the rotation and the world will be blessed with a album review pick from Michelle. Then we'll go through Kyle's the week after that, then mine, and then a new feature in Season 4 that was asked for heavily, probably because of all 3 of our picks in the last season. Is the audience would very much like a word in this, and so as we get toward that, I will be posting on our social media, hey, we've got an album review episode coming up, and we'll just start picking from everything that the audience throws out there for suggestions. And I feel like that will be fun on several different levels. It'll at least be fun for the listeners, Michelle. I don't know if it'll be fun for you specifically, but it'll be fun for the listeners.
I feel like it's not going to be fun.
It's going to be fun for everyone but you. This week, I just wanted to come up with like an easy and fun topic. So what I thought that we would talk about is if you could have a dream concert that you go to with any artist, living or passed on, what would the concert be? And who would the main act be? Who would the opener be? And like maybe even get into why one person would be opening for the other. Because I figure when you're going to start throwing out big names, you got to think about that. Like, who would be the opener and why, in your opinion, would they be the opener? And when I was thinking about this, it was funny because I started to really work through, like, I've had the pleasure of seeing nearly everybody I've ever wanted to see in concert. And I was like, for me, I had to narrow it down to like, well, would I pick somebody that I've seen and they were so good that I would see them again? Or would I pick somebody who I never got to see? Or, so many of these classic artists have such great documented live performances, like maybe they're so good that like, well, I don't know, I don't really have to see them in person because seeing it on video or whatever else gives you the same thing. So when I was thinking about all of that, I was like, I just realized that Kyle has got to be very restricted in just 2 choices because of his like limited exposure to concerts. So I kid you not, I almost sent you guys a message that was like, well, Kyle, you get to pick more than 2. Like for you could put together like Kyle Fest or Bumper Fest and like, just like, here's 10 bands that Kyle wants to see at Bumper Fest. Which I should ask, by the way, would it be Bumper Fest or Kyle Fest?
I think I would roll with Bumper Fest.
Okay. Yeah, and see, the reason why I would say Bumper Fest is because even though most of these acts I would assume would be legendary already, like obviously their albums are going to skyrocket just being associated with this show and being your choice, right? As
exactly.
These artists no one has heard of until our show, like Justin Bieber and The Weeknd. They all received massive bumps from your being mentioned in your Jammy Jams. That I would assume that your tour would be the same way, right?
Yep.
So I don't know. I guess we'll go right to, were you able to narrow it down to a couple that would be like your thing or no? Or did you start putting together Bumper Fest without even knowing?
What's funny is I was thinking about this and I'm like, dude, it's incredibly difficult because like you said, I've been to 1/100th of the amount of shows that you have. So I like, there's so much shit that I haven't seen that I would like to see.
Mm-hmm.
or would have liked to have seen that isn't possible now. But yeah, I did narrow it down to two main artists, I think, that would be together opening and then the main act. But then there's also, like, to run down some, like, I mean, I would have loved to have seen Nirvana, like, play at, like, the Blind Pig or something, like some small, like, venue before they became huge. There's been times where Tupac and Biggie were together both on stage at certain event, like, a situation like that. Would have been amazing. I mean, Michael Jackson's on the list.
Yeah.
But what I narrowed down to is I would love to have seen.
Wait, hold on. Give me the opener first. Who would like? So we.
Yeah, I'm going to.
So we go to Bumperfest, and all these other minor acts like Michael Jackson and Nirvana have played throughout the day. So we get to 7:30. Lights go down, and who's coming on to open up the main stage at Bumperfest?
Metallica.
Oh, right on. So the three hour opener.
Not today's Metallica. We're talking about Black Album Metallica.
Yeah, like either. For me personally, if I was I did get to see Metallica in 92 and 94, which is pretty much the era you're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. If I could go back to see them I would go back to 89 and see them on the Justice tour as well. Like, I mean, they didn't lose much, between, but they were just playing more of Justice,
I mean, I still think that they rock great for being as old as they are now, but like there's just something about a young band who's just trying to kick ass constantly, and that's what they were back then.
Well, yeah, dude, when you think about the fact that the Black Album came out in, I want to say August or September of 91, its anniversary is coming up, but anyways, it came out in 91, and I saw them 2 nights in a row in 94, and they were still touring for the same album. Like, because of being that hungry. And what's funny is, when they started that tour, of course, it's like, Metallica, North American Black Album Tour or whatever. And then like the second leg of the tour was like the Metallica Sad But True Tour or whatever else. I kid you not, when I saw them in 94, the tour was called, Nowhere Else to F in Rome. Like, because they were just like, well, we'd been all over the world 14 times and people still want to hear this album live.
Yeah, that's crazy.
All right. So, roughly 3 hours later, the opener has finished.
Yeah.
And depending on what tour you see them on, the first time I saw Metallica was in 92, and they opened for Guns N' Roses, and an opening set they played for 3 hours.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So who's coming on stage after Metallica?
Aerosmith.
Oh, right on. Right on. And you know what? That'd be unorthodox, but you could probably get some cool mashups between them too, like bring some guys out from Metallica to play with Aerosmith later in the night.
Yeah, and again, not current Aerosmith or what's left of the band. I don't know if they're doing stuff together anymore, but back in the day,
right before the pandemic, they had the Vegas residency going.
I forgot about that.
You might vaguely remember this. There were absolutely shenanigans going with their drummer, who was like fired for a minute and then back and whatever. So I don't know if that's all been resolved and whatnot, but I would assume that they'll be back in, at least in the Vegas residency eventually. But so what era are you talking about then? If I were to guess, I'd say Get a Grip, like again, 91, 92.
Yeah. I mean, even some of my favorite songs of theirs, I didn't realize were so like from like the 70s.
Yeah, like what do you mean? What songs?
Fuck, now I can't even think.
Off
the top of my head,
Sweet Emotion, Walk This Way,
Yes,
Dream On, that type of stuff. Yeah.
Yes. And I listened to that stuff growing up, and I had no idea that it was. I didn't know that they had been around for so long before I started listening to them.
Oh yeah, I mean, in many ways, Aerosmith very much had 2 careers, really.
Yeah.
I mean, their first record came out in 70, and they were done by 80. I mean, done. And really, the Run DMC Walk This Way thing is the only reason that they had a whole second half. If that Run DMC Walk This Way thing hadn't happened in whatever Raising Hell came out, I think 84, Aerosmith is a much, much smaller footnote in the history of music than they ended up being.
Yeah, that's crazy that worked out like that.
Yeah, which is good. So, I'll tell you what. Not only would I buy that ticket, but I kind of have because I saw Aerosmith 3 times on the Get a Grip tour, and I can tell you that you would be getting an awesome show there. I mean, Michelle, you just saw Steven Tyler 3 or 4 years ago?
Yeah, I think it was. I just looked at my time hop.
Yeah, and he would. I mean,
4.
You went into that show not really even caring one way or the other about it, and he was kicked all kinds of ass like just 3 or 4 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So you would get one hell of a show, that's for sure, Kyle.
And there's other things like, so beyond so that's the two main bands I'd like to see together. But like, I mean, I did end up seeing Slipknot, and I had wanted to see them since I was like, I don't know, 14, 15 years old, and I eventually got to see them, and it was everything that I wanted it to be. And I went and see them again after that, and like, it was still everything that I wanted it to be. So Slipknot, I mean, I went and seen The Weeknd before The Weeknd was a thing at St. Andrews here in Detroit. Like, I mean, there was, I don't know, a few hundred people there, and now he, sells out to the tour that he's coming here next is for Little Caesars Arena. So
yeah, it's like 18 or 20,000, something like that.
Yeah, so being able to see him in such a small venue, being such a huge fan of his, was awesome too. So
So he would be relegated to the second stage at Kyle Fest because because you've already been there and done that.
Nine Inch Nails as well. They put on a fantastic show. I don't even know if that's not even a. So what you kind of put together for Bumper Fest is more like an outdoor music festival. Nine Inch Nails cannot be seen. They need to be seen in an arena. If it's very much an arena show because of the sound and like the visuals, and like it just needs to be seen in an enclosed area that is rather large.
I've seen Nine Inch Nails at least twice. I want to say maybe a third time. But the last time that I saw Nine Inch Nails was probably 5 or 6 or 7 years ago. And they were touring with Jane's Addiction. And for whatever reason, Jane's Addiction was the headliner, and Nine Inch Nails was playing before them. And it was at Pine Knob, which here in Detroit is an outdoor theater. And Nine Inch Nails went on at like 7 p.m. when the sun was very much out, and they played their whole set in the wide open air with the sun still out, and it wasn't the worst concert I've ever seen. But like you said, it just Nine Inch Nails is so reliant.
The same.
Yeah, Nine Inch Nails is so reliant on the visual aspect of their show, and I don't say that in a derogatory way. It's a good thing that their show is the way it is, and so it's funny that you say that. Like, I've seen it both ways, and I would never want to see them outdoor in the sun ever again.
And I keep using arena. I use arena and stadium interchangeably, and I realize they're not the same thing. But like anywhere indoors is where Nine Inch Nails will succeed.
Yeah, arena or stadium. Yes. You just need 4 walls and a roof.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right on, Michelle. Who would be on yours? Because now you are quite a bit more well-versed in shows, but I feel like you're going to pick someone you've already seen for both slots. But but having said that, if we get to now, you don't get a whole festival because you've been to enough shows where I feel it disqualifies you from a festival. So
that's not fair.
You've been to enough shows. You don't need a festival.
What's enough? Who's to say what's enough?
I'll sell you a ticket to Bumper Fest. How about that?
Your Bumper Fest sounds lame.
You can go get tickets to Bumper Fest on Kyle Hub.
Yep.
He's got a whole pyramid scheme set up.
I feel like there's going to be some stupid charges on my ticket.
Yeah.
Stupid service fees.
Yeah, the Hard Times article about Ticketmaster putting an FU charge on their tickets.
Oh
now.
Yeah, for sure.
There's going to be a "You're Welcome" charge. It's going to be $10.
Right.
No.
So Michelle, for the grand total, including service fees and everything, of an acceptable ticket price for you of $8.50.
Whoa, that's more than $5, man.
And yeah. Well, it's because they also lower beer prices to $4 a pint for this show.
Okay. We're good.
Yeah. So, because the most important things to you are a cheap ticket price and cheap beer. So all of those things would be folded into the tour that is presented just for you. So after you get to the venue and you get your $4 beer and you're sitting in your $8.50 seat, the lights go down. Who is opening this show?
Well, first I would like to say that it's going to be an outdoor concert because I feel like it doesn't matter who's playing. Seeing a concert outdoors is better.
Other than the whole discussion we just had about Nine Inch Nails being better indoor, but sure.
No, I don't agree with that. Nine Inch Nails can play at noon outdoors. That'd be fine.
Hey, real quick, just a quick question. How many times have you seen Nine Inch Nails live in concert?
A lot.
Right. For the listeners, that's what Michelle sounds like when she's lying. So, okay, so for you, it's got to be outdoors.
Yep.
Okay.
And so I was trying to think of 2 acts that I have not seen that I would like to see, and they don't really go together.
Yeah, mine don't either. Mine could, I guess, but go on.
I mean, I it would be interesting to see them together. My opening act would be Prince.
Oh, right on.
I just never had a chance to see him, and I feel like he would definitely put on a great show.
You and Kyle are trying to get your money's worth out of these shows. You got a 3-hour opener as well.
Yes.
Your concert tour is all about value.
Yeah, I would like the most bang for my buck.
Yeah. And so in any specific, is like all Prince fine with you, or would you like want to see like Prince and the Revolution from the Purple Rain tour, or just whoever's playing with Prince and Prince doing what Prince does?
I want to see what Prince does. I want Prince to do what Prince does best.
Right
I want him to put on the best show that he like. I don't know what that is, and you've seen him more times than I have, but like whatever the best lineup would be.
I'll tell you this: the last time that I saw him, I knew he was touring with Third Eye Girl, and I knew it was an all-female band, and that's really all that I knew. I didn't look up any clips. I didn't know how they were, and those women were every bit as good or better than anybody I'd seen on stage with him in the past. So.
I will just say that when we saw Purple Rain in Vegas with Jason Tenor, that's what I like, something like that, where I know he plays all the hits and whatever, but like that vibe and like just that energy, like that.
You know what? For you, I would say the 04 tour then, because it was the musicology tour, but Prince, it literally, as a guy who was, Prince very much went through that phase of like, I'm not playing the hits. You know, like David Bowie and REM and bands do sometimes.
Of course you would.
That tour, the 04 tour, was actually called All the Hits and More. You know, so like that seems like that would be the tour. Like if I were going to pick a Prince era for you, that probably would have been the one for you. Plus he did 7, you know, which is, yeah, which I know is, I think probably your favorite Prince song, or at least up there, right?
Yeah.
It's better than Computer Blue.
Yeah. Computer Blue is banned in this concert.
Yeah,
it's on the Do Not playlist.
You know how bands do the like Rush, you know, does the we're playing moving pictures front to back. Pink Floyd plays The Dark Side of the Moon. Prince is going to do an anniversary tour of Purple Rain front to back, except for Computer Blue on account of Michelle. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just taken off the record. It's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to
it's
it.
crazy. So after Prince gets done being Prince for 2.5, 3 hours, who is the main act on your show?
Queen.
Oh, ooh, that's interesting.
But like Wembley Queen. Like,
oh yeah, like 85, 86.
Stadium, like, yeah, like I want it to be like that, like the outdoor ambiance with just like a fuck ton of people there and like everyone's just getting the fuck down. Like that's where I want to be.
So Kyle needed
that would be awesome.
Kyle needed to clarify earlier that, you know, about the stadium arena difference. So to be clear, Michelle, you would like a venue that holds a fuck ton of people.
Yeah, which is weird because I usually don't.
Yeah, I know.
A lot of people, but that show just looks like so much fun. Like, I don't. When you look at it from the videos, like I want to be in that crowd. I want to be with those people. I want to be hammered, singing along to Queen with a whole bunch of people, like strangers. Just
hammered, singing along to Queen. About 30 seconds into every song, going, "Oh wow, I do know this song."
I didn't know this was Queen. Yes, that's exactly what I want. So I know that I also think. What do you think? Do you think that Freddie Mercury and Prince could have done like a song together? Like that would have been a thing?
I will sidebar that and say that the reason why I don't think so is because Freddie Mercury and Michael Jackson were supposed to do a song together, and the song eventually did get released. It's called State of Shock, and it's on the Jackson's Victory album, and Freddie was supposed to be singing the other vocal on that, but Mick Jagger ended up singing it because of an ego situation. Michael and Freddie could not get along at all around that would have been recorded, I think, in 84. So because of the time that Freddie passed, if Michael and Freddie couldn't get along for ego in 84, Prince sure as hell wouldn't have been able to get along with Freddie in 84. You know, in a perfect world, do I think they could have done a song together? Absolutely. But we know from even we got Under Pressure with David Bowie and Queen, and they were supposed to do an entire album together, and they barely got that one song done because of the egos in the room. So in a perfect world, in a non-ego world, sure, Prince and Freddie could have done a song together. But let me say this. On that tour, I believe that the dressing rooms would be on total opposite ends of the backstage area.
Yeah, I was just hoping that they would come out at the end and do like one encore together.
What would it be?
I don't know. I knew you were going to ask me that, and I was trying to think of what would it be, a Queen song or a Prince song or just a random song they sang together. I don't know. I don't like to see them do one song together.
So how about this? This off the top of my head, Queen used to close with kind of an even faster version of "We Will Rock You," and then they would go into "We Are the Champions" to close their shows, like the Queen live at Wembley. That's how it closes. Mm-hmm. How about if Prince comes out and sings on "We Will Rock You," and then they go into "Purple Rain" instead of "We Are the Champions"?
I would take that.
Good to go.
Good to go.
Cool. Okay, so for all the listeners, Michelle approves of Prince and Queen together at Wembley Stadium for $8.50.
And $4 beers.
Yes. For me, here's the thing. So we talked about this before. It's been mentioned on the show before. Like this is not braggy or anything. Like I've worked very hard to make sure that this happens. And over the years, I have seen nearly everybody that I've wanted to see. I was at that Nirvana show at the Blind Pig. I saw them again on the In Utero tour. So I saw them in a little bit bigger venue. I had the distinct pleasure of seeing Prince 4 times. I did get to see Michael Jackson on the Bad tour. And for me, a lot of this was like, well, Michael Jackson was amazing or Prince was amazing. Like maybe I'd want to see them one more time. You know what I mean? Like I was trying to figure that out. But then I was thinking about, well, even things like if you had asked me this question 10 years ago, my answer would have been like, I don't know who's opening, but the main act is Pink Floyd doing The Wall. But I got to see Roger Waters twice do The Wall on his own with an even better version of the stage show than Pink Floyd had in 81 or 82 when they did the tour, right? So it's like, why would, you know what I mean? I would gain nothing by going back and seeing the four of them do a downgraded version of what I've already seen.
You wouldn't go back and do it like from like right after the record came out, like right when they were like just starting to do that?
Well, no, because of, if you like, you can go back and there is some footage of those shows and it was super low tech for, I mean, it was high tech for 1981, but compared to how Roger did the show, it's like Roger did the show with 2012 technology, and they originally were trying to do the show with 1981 technology.
Well, so the technology matters to you
for that show, for sure. Because with Pink Floyd, you're not at all looking at the members of the show. You're enjoying the music, and Roger had guys with him who played the music perfect to the album. So I wouldn't gain anything by David Gilmour being there playing his own solo as opposed to the guy who played it for him on Roger's tour, because he played it exactly the same.
Right.
Then another nominee was the White Stripes, because I never actually saw Meg and Jack together, but I've seen Jack White a ton of times, and he's done literally every White Stripes song I could possibly want to hear. And he's always had musicians with him who play as good or better than I envisioned the Stripes would have played. So, I was like, well, I don't know. Seeing Jack so much kind of outweighs seeing Meg and Jack together, and again, and another thing, I have a ton of White Stripes live material. So it's like, if I just turn it up loud enough in my basement, I can be at a White Stripes concert, Having said that, here's something very interesting. So we get to my show, which, I'll pay anything for tickets. So these shows are probably, I don't know, $200 face value. The t-shirts for these shows are probably $75 for the world's cheapest t-shirts, and beers are probably $11 a piece. And by the way, indoor or outdoor, I don't care how the show happens. My opener is also Queen, but they're opening the show. And same thing, 85, 86 Queen, for all the reasons you already said. And there is, I have Queen live at Wembley. There's a bunch of great footage of that show, and it's close, but the presence of physically being there and seeing Freddie Mercury in person, I have to assume would be as good or better than my experience with seeing MJ and Prince in person, right?
Yeah.
So that for me was like, okay, so who could Queen be opening for? Do you guys have any wild guesses who Queen could be opening for?
I don't know.
I was trying to think of something funny to say, and I can't even think of anything funny.
Weird Al. Opening for Ron White. It's like, I threw a wrench in the works. It's like a stand-up.
Louis C.K.
Yeah. Freddie Mercury comes out and kills it, and then right after that is, if you have an engine on top of an engine.
You must be a redneck.
Yeah. Good Lord. Queen and Freddie Mercury, Brian May, they would be opening for Elvis Aaron Presley in 1972. Yeah, specifically in 1972. You know, and like I said, these don't totally go together, but if I'm doing the Michelle mashup bit where I get to see them do one together, I think Crazy Little Thing Called Love is like the obvious choice, right?
Did you ever see Elvis?
Michelle?
How old are you?
I know that it's a running joke on the show regarding not just my age, but how you don't understand space and time. Elvis Presley passed away in August of 1977.
Yep.
So, do you have any questions that you'd like to ask?
When were you born?
2 years before that.
So you could have seen him.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're totally right. I could have. That's on me. That's on me. I didn't get to go see.
Your mom or your sister could have definitely taken you to see Elvis. They just dropped the ball.
The last, he was in Saginaw like 2 months before he died, but he was in, he played the Pontiac Silverdome in 75. And I was already born. I was 6 months old when he played the Silverdome. So
I feel like you're just not trying hard enough.
Right. Well, and that's the thing with Queen. The reason why Queen's on my list is because although Freddie passed in 91, due to his deteriorating health and just inner workings in the band and whatnot, that tour in 86 was the last tour Queen did. You know, I was 11.
What month in 86, you know? Like when they did Wembley?
I could go look at the record, but I think July. I think July of 86.
So I was like 2 months old, so that's on me too.
Oh, yeah. So look who failed now.
That's on me. I'm sorry.
You were like one transatlantic flight away from being at that concert. You know,
and it looks like it was child friendly too. Like like I should have been on someone's shoulders.
Yeah, and so this is way, way, way pre 9/11. So your parents could have just put you in a bag, anyways. Like, you know, it wouldn't even be hard to travel with a child.
Yeah, I'm sure I didn't even need a passport.
Shoving
me under the seat.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, to bring things back to the top of the show, it's because Zoe is a couple weeks old now. It sounds like you guys need to be looking for that show in a month so that she's not doing a podcast in 20 years talking about how she didn't get to see a band because you guys didn't put her in a bag and take her to a show.
Take a baby into a show.
Yeah. And so anyways, Queen did their last tour in 86 and I was only 11. I didn't go to my first concert till late 80s, October of 87, and Queen never toured again. And then Freddie passed away in 91. So I never got to see them. With Elvis specifically, Elvis was absolutely the man. And I know I've played a lot of stuff for you guys that you probably wouldn't have heard if I hadn't played it for you, but he was just the man from a performer standpoint in 70, 71 and 72. And I feel like 72 was like the peak of it. There are highlights from late 72 through 77, even including 77, the year that he passed away. There are some highlights from like January to June, but for me, if I get to pick like the era and everything, it would be absolutely be 72. And I guess I might as well have the show happen right at Madison Square Garden, which, you know, the first album I ever bought was Elvis playing Madison Square Garden in 72. So you'd have Queen opening that show and then Elvis coming out to kill it afterwards. And I have to assume they would be able to play together.
Quite the show.
I will say that the reason I arranged mine the way I did was because of their existence in music, right? So Aerosmith obviously existed long before Metallica did.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I made Metallica the opener. If that was not the case, then obviously Metallica would be the headlining act, in my personal opinion.
Well, my thing is,
the way I set it up in reality is like, you know, Metallica, they were a very young band at that time, so they should be opening for someone like Aerosmith, technically. But
yeah, and you figure since you get your way anyways, they're doing they're both doing full headlining sets. So it really doesn't matter who opens for who.
That is true.
In 92, prior to 92, like when I went to shows in 87, 88, 89, 90, and 91, everybody that I saw, like big names at the time, like when the first time I saw Pearl Jam and stuff like that, whenever you called to find out who the opener was, it was somebody you'd never heard of. Like there were never two marquee acts touring at the same time. And that GNR Metallica tour was really the first time that I ever heard of two big bands going on tour and doing their full show together. And technically Metallica opened that show because they went on first every night, but Metallica played, I mean, it was the full show, like they played all 3 hours, and it worked out fine because GNR was always late to every show. So like Metallica just went on to entertain people while GNR were like getting around to thinking about maybe getting to the venue eventually. And Metallica took it as a challenge too. Like their whole thing was like if they looked out in the crowd and saw more GNR shirts than Metallica shirts, their job was to win the GNR fans over. Yeah, which is cool. So,
as much as
no, go ahead.
As much as technology is amazing and the internet's great, and I wish that I grew up in a time where you had to call and find out who the opening act of the show was.
Mm-hmm.
So you wish you were old like Russ?
Just the having to put in effort to go and find something because you really cared and wanted to know what was going on. I grew up in a time where like the internet wasn't a thing yet, but like computers very much were becoming a thing, and like and then I didn't see a lot of concerts before, so I kind of missed the area where like you didn't know a lot of information about what you were going to go see, and now obviously you can just find anything you want at all times a year ahead of time.
Yeah, and I always tell people the story, but it's exactly, dude. I used to have, sometimes you didn't even know who the opener was going to be till the day of. Like I used to call the venue at like 4 PM and be like, who's opening tonight? And I remember very clearly calling the Palace of Auburn Hills in April of 1991 and going, hey, do you guys know who's opening for Guns N' Roses tonight? And then the next sentence that I said was, what the hell is a Soundgarden? You know? So, you know, and then we went, and poor Soundgarden had to play their entire set twice because, and I hope you're both sitting down, but GNR was late. So, yeah, so literally Soundgarden came out, played their whole set, and then you know how it shows, the lights go up and then they, you know, change the stage over and the lights go down again, you get the main act. Nothing happened stage changeover wise, and the lights just went out again like 2 hours later, and Soundgarden came out and played the exact same set again. Chris Cornell was like, we're back, God. I guess, you know, and then eventually things happened and GNR took the stage. So anyways, I think this was a fun way we overcame some obstacles and were able to kick off season 4. Even up till minutes before we went to record this episode, the internet was trying to get in the way of us recording this, which is why Kyle and Michelle both sound like they're calling in from tour themselves. To do this episode, but hopefully everybody is cool with the audio quality, because I think the content is good and worth the audio quality.
Well, and the content's always good. So.
Right. Well, as long as you're here.
Well, duh.
And then, so next week we are going to move ahead with our new plan of doing an album review every other week. Michelle is going to delight us with an album choice. I would assume in the next day or so, you will let us know what that's going to be, Michelle.
Yeah, totally.
Sweet.
That was super convincing.
And due to your current schedule, I assume you're going to pick like an album you're like super duper familiar with, so you just wing it.
I fucked up and I already used Surface Sounds.
Yeah, I know. Now you got to pick something else you know kind of as well. So anyways, we greatly appreciate all the support, the YouTube channels getting the show itself. I'm sure Kyle and Michelle, you guys are happy to see all the likes and loves and comments and everything from everybody about the baby.
Yeah, always.
Yeah, and so going forward, we will have an episode for you every Monday, 2 YouTube videos per week. And as always, I always say, hey, make sure to interact with us on social media. Once you hear this, start dropping those comments. Let us know who you would have open for who, what you think about Michelle's opinion on Eric Clapton, whether or not, can someone confirm, maybe he's not even British. Well, maybe he's faking the accent. Maybe somebody can confirm that for us.
I bet that's it, man.
That's probably it. He's probably playing the long game and just trying to pull one over on you.
I knew it, man.
Yep. Like we always say about this time, without music, life would be a mistake. Bye.
The Infectious Groove podcast is hosted by Russ Robinson, Kyle Wimple, and Michelle Koselecki. Produced and edited by Russ Robinson. Intro and outro music composed by Chris Kimmel. Opening credits read by Stacey Robinson. Recorded with the Rode Podcaster Pro and Rode Pod mics.